said it is over. Trump has officially turned off immigration coming from third world countries, and the Democrats are losing it. This is what we voted for, everybody. Immigration attorneys paid by large network NGOs are literally in disarray right now because your tax dollars that's been paying them to immigrate people into our country for all these federal benefits, and again, backed by these Soros-funded NGOs in partner with them, have all been stopped. President Trump has confirmed a permanent halt to the third world migration and surge in deport, and to complete a surge in deportations of legal third world immigrants. So not only are we stopping the immigration coming in, we're about to surge migration going out of the United States from third world countries, because Trump says we need net positive citizens. If you want to come here, we need you to assimilate. We need you to love our country. We need you to speak English. And if you don't do those things, then you're heading back home. That's what Trump said, everybody. This is massive. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Trump also said that we have to make government so small that we can completely fund it with tariff revenue and eliminate the federal income tax. That is what we voted for, everybody. And if you love that, hit the thumbs up like button, guys, because that right there, that gets me going. Smaller government, less regulations, no more federal income tax. It would literally just make an economic boom in the United States like never before. We are also learning that the guy who shot the two National Guardsmen, and unfortunately, the lady has passed away. The guy who shot them was resettled in Bellingham, Washington through World Relief NGO. World Relief is funded primarily by, you guessed it, USAID. They also partnered with Welcoming America, a network linked with none other than George Soros. Isn't it crazy that all this is tied together? USAID, George Soros, the people that come here, that hate America, that don't want to assimilate. It's all intentional, everybody. And Trump has officially said it's over. No more. Closing the door. And not only that, we're going to surge deportations going of people that were brought here through these NGOs out of here. These immigration attorneys are losing it because that's been their payday. They've been making a ton of money, through these Democrat NGOs, guys. This is beautiful. We also now know that the Biden administration increased federal benefits for illegal migrants, and the costs are catastrophic to Americans. 53 million foreign-born residents, mostly dependent on welfare, 59% of them, okay? 59% of the 53 million foreign-born residents are dependent upon welfare, while Americans can't afford groceries. An average migrant earning $30,000 qualifies with the Biden administration setup for $50,000 in benefits for housing assistance, food stamps, Medicare, Medicaid, and education cost. That's a negative $20,000 per person multiplied by millions, funded by citizens watching their own communities collapse. This is where we're at, everybody. And right now, you literally have Oregon, who has filed a federal lawsuit in Eugene challenging Trump's stop of the SNAP program for non-citizens. Again, you can't make it up. This is what these blue states are doing. But right now, Donald Trump's tariff revenue has just come in, surging to a record $33 billion in October alone. The experts claimed it was impossible. Trump just made it happen. And now, again, he wants to reduce the size of the government to the point where tariff revenue can pay for the federal government, and we don't have to pay any federal income tax. Guys, massive, massive wins today. Trump says it's over. Cleaning up America. Mass surge in deportations are going to happen. And we've got all the breaking news for you today. This is what we voted for, everybody. If you love this, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I want to say thank you to everybody who has given in our super chat, guys. Thank you to everybody that supports our channel. If you're not part of the family yet, please consider subscribing, joining our family so we can take care of you every day with the breaking news. We thank you so much for your support and sharing our videos on Facebook and X. And want to say thank you to those that given. Show some special love to Dr. K, Deborah Crumby, Elaine Demeen, OG of the channel. Show them some love. And if you don't mind doing us a huge favor of hitting that thumbs up like button. Guys, we are almost at an end. Just want a quick word from our partner chapter. It is open enrollment time, but the door is about to close in just a couple of days. And I promise you, you will be blessed. People on this channel have called chapter, have saved thousands of dollars per month, $2,700 a year, $1,000 a year, $1,400 a year, $2,000 a year. And then we have some that have literally gotten over $1,000 in additional benefits. And this service is free. Call the number 667-895-3015. The number's at the bottom of the screen, as well as in the description. Again, open enrollment's almost done with y'all. Call them before it's too late. Go in, save you some money. I promise you, you'll be blessed. And I can't wait to hear that testimonial. Tell them that Joel sent you from TrueLife News. And I'm telling you, everybody, what you're about to hear next is massive. The change that's happening today, Trump is literally blowing every Democrat up right now like nobody's business because we're cutting off where they're going to get funding from the government. Listen to this.
I must unfortunately tell you that just seconds before I went on, right now, I heard that Sarah Beckstrom of West Virginia, one of the guardsmen that we're talking about, highly respected, young, magnificent person, started service in June of 2023, outstanding in every way. She's just passed away. She's no longer with us. She's looking down at us right now.
During welcome, according to...
And I want to show you this, everybody, because this is where it's all going back to. We now know, look at, like, guys, when you see this on the screen, you cannot make this stuff, oh my goodness, sorry. You cannot make this stuff up. This guy was brought in through, well, World Relief. World Relief was funded by USAID and State Department. They were partnered with Soros-backed NGOs, Welcoming America. And again, all this is to do what? Am I saying that everybody that comes to this is a bad person? No, but what I am saying is that it's always funny that the same people keep popping up of who's linked to things that happen in a negative way towards Americans in the United States, and it's always the same face. You let me know your thoughts in the comments, because we're not making this stuff up. You can go check it out for yourself. But this is, again, when these people are radicalized, that don't come here and don't want to assimilate and don't want to become American, because that's what the whole point is. You come to America, you're supposed to become American. They want to come in and change our America to be like what they came from, and it's all being funded in chaos through these NGOs. Guys, if you appreciate this breaking news, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, Canaryville Kid, welcome to the family. Let's go. And everything that you're seeing here, Trump 100% called it.
State Department. So you mean to tell me tonight that the Senator Lindsey Graham?
Are you telling this committee under oath that 99% of the people who got on these planes in Afghanistan were vetted by our government before they got on that plane?
I want to be very clear because precision...
Because you're not.
No.
Ooh.
Senator, if I may, you are asking me about planes from transit countries, the third countries...
I'm talking about people who got on the plane in Kabul airport.
No, I can't speak to that.
You see that, everybody? And I've told you, I bring you the receipts, everybody. Everything that we're talking about and what they're saying as far as this right here that happened, he said, did everybody, whenever they were bringing over these people, were they properly vetted? Did they go through the right process? You can't make this stuff up, guys. This is the receipts we bring to you today. This is part of the horrendous airlift from Afghanistan. Hundreds of thousands of people poured in to our country, totally unvetted, and now Trump said it's over. President Trump says he'll permanently pause migration from all third world countries. Not happening anymore. We need to know who's in our country. We need to know what's going on. And this is why, again, too, everything that you're seeing here, We are catching them. We're bringing the receipts, and we're showing you that we're going to make sure to hold these people accountable and spread the truth of what is actually going on.
Yeah, I couldn't speak to that. They've even got people on CNN admitting to this.
The vetting process that they went through with these people was chaotic. I had detectives from the Joint Terrorism Task Force assigned to that vetting process who reported back. You know, it was being run by the Department of Homeland Security, but the Afghan records were spotty.
Oh,
And back in 2021,
really?
President Trump was already talking about it. I mean, though, for all of us, pretty obvious, right?
Nobody knows who the hell they are, Cheryl. These aren't the interpreters that we taught. These were people that rushed into the planes, and they were so interested in trying to make it sound like, oh, they're doing a good job. These people, many of these people are going to be terrorists, okay? They're going to be terrorists. They were very powerful. They were very energetic in getting onto the aircraft.
They say they're vetting them very carefully with biometrics and documentation.
They're not doing that, and you can't, because there is no documentation in that country. There's virtually no documentation.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Let me tell you this, everybody. This stuff that happened, I'm telling you, Trump is 100% full focus on making this come alive right now. He put out one of the largest posts. I think it's probably his largest post in America, like he's ever put out. And all the while, the number one thing is he said, and remove anyone who is not a net asset to the United States or is incapable of loving our country, and all federal benefits and subsidies to non-citizens of our country, denaturalize migrants who undermine domestic tranquility. If you come here, it is supposed to be that you want to come and make America great and you want to make it better. You don't come here and destroy American values, hate America, burn our flags. Heck no. You want to do that? Get out. This is for people that want to live in the greatest country in the world, be blessed by the greatest country in the world, and Trump is finally putting a stop to it because this right here has just sent so much waves across the entire spectrum. Immigration lawyers that have been paid by these big NGOs are losing it because they're losing all their clients. But they've been getting paid by taxpayer dollars to bring in and fight for immigrants coming into our country. You tell me how all this makes sense. And I haven't even gotten to some of the biggest receipts today, guys, because we're still fighting the weaponization that has happened over the past 5 years like never before when it comes to our country. And this right here, again, we bring you the receipts, everybody. Lots of stuff is happening, but we have some Republicans who are standing up and ready to fight big time.
Mike Howell, I've got two brawlers back to back. You've dedicated your whole life now to this whole de-weaponization and going after the weaponization. You just heard Davis. You've got a couple of thoughts about Jordan, Arctic Frost, and about where we stand, sir. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll take it one step further than the great Mike Davis. The Republicans in Congress are more than useful idiots. A lot of them are willing participants in the weaponization of government, which, as you guys know, goes back a decade. Arctic Frost is the same continuum as everything else since Trump came down that escalator and the Russia hoax and so forth. You have Lindsey Graham, who told his pal John McCain to turn over the dossier to the FBI. This is where it started in the hearings that he supported and held, in the messaging that he did in those crucial years to seed the narrative. He's the same one who, in this bill to reopen the government, snuck in a provision to pay himself tens of millions of dollars due to Arctic Frost. And if you go over to the House of Representatives, does anybody remember the Weaponization Committee? It was supposed to be the big bad version of the January 6th committee to stop this stuff in its tracks over the Biden administration. Instead of that, we got nothing. They did not spend the money. They did not staff up. And guess what? They ignored the things they're pretending to be surprised about now. They knew about Arctic Frost as it was going on. They did nothing. Don't believe me? Go on their Twitter feed on the Weaponization Committee. Look up the term Arctic Frost. See if you see anything. And it's not because they were not told. And so, yes, we do need to call on Congress to do something. but you might as well write a letter to Santa, CC the Easter Bunny, pay off a kid on the Make-A-Wish Foundation and ask Congress to do something. It still probably won't work, but we still have to do it. And leadership and the chairman have to call the votes. And the reason they don't want to is because they know they will probably lose those votes. But guess what? We need to know who's on the team and who's not. And the purpose of leadership is not to give cover to those who aren't in this fight. And those same people who would vote against these things are going to be the same people that, should the Democrats win the midterms and then the presidency, will be sitting there and gleefully watching the full fray of weaponization. And as you said, they'll go all the way next time. They'll watch it and cheer it on and see it as an extinguishing of the MAGA movement.
Mike, how should we impeach Bo's?
Let me tell you this. Everything that you're seeing, this weaponization of government, there are some people that are popping up that are showing you that it doesn't matter. They're going to fight against these activist judges. They're going to fight against this lawfare, and it doesn't matter. Listen to this. The DOJ has confirmed that DHS Secretary Kristi Noem personally told immigration officials to ignore Judge Boasberg's attempt to prevent a deportation flight transferring detainees to El Salvador. Boom. Backbone of steel. You're having a judge who's trying to control foreign policy, domestic policy for the entire nation, and has no right to do so. This is what we voted for. This is on Trump's team. Jesus is Lord. Welcome to the family. Let's go. Show Jesus is Lord some love in the chat, everybody. And not only that, not only her, everybody, but y'all know Harmeet Dillon, the Assistant Attorney General, okay? She is fighting the same thing. Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon told Oregon to screw off after the Democrat governor and AG promised to arrest and prosecute federal agents who round up illegals and quell riots. Guess what? No. I told you guys, we're bringing the receipts today. All this stuff that's happening, we are 100% showing everybody that we're going to put America first. We're going to do what's right. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much, everybody, for your support. This is big. This just shows you we've got some people in the White House, in the cabinet team, that got some backbones that are fighting against all this stuff.
Absolutely. We should call the vote, and guess what? A bunch of Republicans will vote against it, and then we should call the vote again the next day. Let the posse go to work. Let us know who's on the team, who's not. Keep calling the vote until it passes. We need to get people on record because so many members right now are hiding. They've learned to speak the language of MAGA, and they just want to survive. But leadership can't give those people cover. The people need to know who's on the team, who's not.
Mike, where do people go to?
Let me tell you this. And again, I want to, all these receipts, guys, that we're showing you today, let me just go ahead and show you this. I told you it was one of Trump's biggest posts ever over Thanksgiving, over the 53 million people. This is according to the census that are here, that is a foreign population. Literally 53 million people here. That is a foreign population, that 59% of them live on federal taxpayer benefits. This is Trump going over everything. And this is where our boy Tim Burchett has come out and said, we are going to make change. Listen to this.
Hey everybody, Congressman Tim Burchett. Yesterday I introduced 3 bills to make everyday life for Americans safer. The first bill codifies President Trump's executive order, and it aims to address the homelessness crisis. It implements stricter enforcement and better treatment options for those folks. The second bill codifies another of President Trump's executive orders by ending cashless bail. You see somebody commit a violent crime, and the next day they're out, and there's no ramifications to hold them in or make them come back. Finally, the third bill makes public transit safe again, increasing the punishment for various crimes that take place on public transportation. The brutal murder of that young lady on the Charlotte train, that still haunts me. And I'm just unbelievably ticked off about that. These crimes, of course, are preventable, and innocent lives will be saved as a result of passing these bills. I'm sick and tired of Washington politicians talking a big game of solving crime on the campaign trail and then getting to Congress and not doing anything. We have a lot of hearings. We write a lot of strong letters, but dadgummit, nothing becomes of it. Y'all know that's not my style. And I've been fighting for that innocent mama just trying to take her kid to school on the bus, and I'm fighting to end the revolving door of justice, and I'm fighting to clean up our streets. I encourage you to call your member of Congress and tell them to stand with me in our fight to save America. It's worth saving, folks.
And I'm telling you, I love this because, again, people are furious across the board, everybody. You cannot make up what you're about to hear. This is one of the most dangerous things that's happening in America that now is catching steam on the main news networks because you have NGOs that are paid by taxpayers that are literally telling our military service people to defy Trump's orders. Listen to this.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me just stress that this story that is emerging may be one of the most horrifying that I have seen in a long time. You may be wondering what this image I have on screen is. It is part of a campaign to create factions within the military to defy Donald Trump and foment civil war or a military coup. I'm not exaggerating. To be fair, to hammer everything looks like a nail. But for what purpose have been Democrats calling on people to, quote, pick an effing side? That's a senator from Connecticut who said that. For what purpose have Democrats been calling all of Trump's orders illegal, dictatorial, fascistic, and then calling on servicemen and women to defy the chain of command? This makes no sense. If it's no big deal the National Guard were deployed to our city streets and not doing anything but picking up trash, why do Democrats pretend to care? Here's the story. These billboards have been popping up reportedly across the country. It says, "Did you go airborne just to pull security for ICE? Not what you signed up for.org. This is illegal. It is a crime. I'm not exaggerating nor being cute. I have the law pulled up. This is an effort to foment factions within the military ranks so that they defy the chain of command.
It is.
Secretary of War or the president himself. I'm going to show you exactly where this goes. We're going to pull up this website, but I need to say this right now. If Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth and the DOJ do not go after these people that are putting up these messages, this is the biggest, the most impactful escalation towards civil war we have ever seen in our generation. The fact that there are nonprofits being funded with billboard campaigns,
yes,
instructing our men and women in uniform to defy the chain of command. And I'm not gonna be cute with you guys. We know the intention. They're not explicitly saying, "Hey, don't do it," but you don't get to play this wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Here's the billboard. You can see it.
And not only that, everybody, people are furious right now over this right here. This was posted by Right Angled News Network. This judge completely dropped the charges of there was a person who's driving this white van right here who the police are trying to stop, driving all over the place, running into the police vehicles, driving off. Look at this. They're trying to catch him. And look at this. Progressive North Carolina Magistrate Judge David Kiesler has dropped all charges and freed Miguel Martinez after he fled federal officials and used his white van in an attempt to ram federal agents trying to escape their pursuit. This right here is what's destroying America. Look at this. Driving all over, like just causing chaos and not following the law, not listening, not doing anything. All of his charges have been dropped because of this activist judge. Now you tell me, are we not fighting the enemy from within? People are so furious across the board, everybody, because we show time and time again the receipts of what we're dealing with. It's not essentially like you would think it would be like, oh, it's somebody from within. It's people from outside of our country like the people you're seeing on the screen that are pouring money in to cause the chaos into our country. Thank you so much, Chris Prez, for the gifted 10 TrueLife News memberships. Show Chris Prez some love in the chat. If you got a free membership from our boy Chris, OG of the channel, show Summerman123 some love in the chat. So Romans 8:28, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. Amen. Show them some love in the chat, as well as our boy Summerman said, for the kids, for America, for our future. We cannot let them win. Fight, fight, fight. Amen. Show Summerman some love in the chat, as well as Chris Prez. Thank you so much for y'all's support, because I'm telling you, the people that are coming up, listen to this, guys. Things are about to change.
Congressman Byron Donalds is running for governor in Florida, and he joins us now. Congressman, I don't think it's an overstatement to say that every single one of those National Guard troops walking around the city of Washington, D.C., right this second or at 9 o'clock this morning, have actually saved the lives of American citizens in that city.
It's not an overstatement. We had a hearing in the Oversight Committee a couple of months ago, and the mayor of Washington, D.C. said on the record that since the National Guard was deployed by President Trump, crime has dropped 40% in the nation's capital. 40%. Washington, D.C. has not been a safe city for quite some time. When the president was running for office, he said that he was going to make the nation's capital safe again. He deployed the National Guard. Crime plummeted in Washington, D.C. It has been working. But in spite of that fact, you have Democrat officials who have been whining and crying on TV and in any microphone open saying that it was wrong to deploy the Guard. The president is well within his rights to deploy the National Guard because Washington, D.C. is a federal enclave. It is the purview of the federal government, not just a city, not just some state. So the Guard was deployed. Crime has come down drastically. They should be applauded for the work that they've been doing. And now we have two of our National Guards men in the hospital fighting for their lives. The Democrats need to do an about face on this. They need to acknowledge the fact that Donald Trump was right, but bigger than that the National Guard has been a help to securing the nation's capital for everybody.
And, you know, when we have these big debates about these literally sitting senators sitting around talking about how the orders, maybe their orders, they might think, to be deployed are somehow illegal and that they are allowed to disobey them, I always think about what those young men and women who are serving in uniform must be thinking about all of this.
Those people that were shot had been sworn in just 24 hours before all this happened. Trump is at the point, it is over. We're not dealing with this anymore. He'll permanently pause migration from all third world countries. People that come, and it's so sad to say, but this is the truth, that the majority of people that come from third world countries are being brought in by these NGOs. They come to America and they don't want to assimilate. They don't want to speak English. The majority of them live on taxpayer benefits. And I'm not saying we don't help people out, but I'm saying we got a lot of Americans that need some help too. Guys, if you appreciate this truth, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, because I'm telling it like it is, okay? You have to make sure you take care of your home before you go and help your neighbor. That's just what it is. President Trump has directed a full-scale, rigorous re-examination of every green card for every alien from every country of concern. We need to know who is in our country that has come over. We need to properly vet them. We need to make sure if you come here in America, you need to love America. You need to want to live like an American. You need to want to absorb our cultural values because that's what makes us who we are. You don't come in and then start saying you hate America and then try to make it like the country you came from. That makes no sense whatsoever. Just stay where you're at. I don't think I'm speaking out of turn here. I don't go to somebody else's home and make that person in that home live how I want to. No, I'm a guest in their home. I follow their rules. I follow their laws. And I am grateful and thankful that they are helping me out. We're not seeing that. And that's why Trump is taking these drastic steps.
As they try to carry out their job, that maybe what they're doing is illegal. Maybe they should be disobeying their orders, and now they're getting shot at. What must be going through their minds?
I think, honestly, what's probably going through their minds is, oh, my gosh, we were here just on a simple mission given by the President of the United States, and now you have an Afghan foreign national who came into this country because Joe Biden, frankly, did one of the most stupidest things that has ever been done with the withdrawal of Afghanistan. They brought in a bunch of Afghani nationals. Nobody was truly vetted, and now you have people in our country who now are posing a threat to the National Guard. That doesn't say anything to the fact that the same Biden administration, with the support of these 6 Democrat officials and every other Democrat on Capitol Hill, allowed our nation to be wide open, where you had people from 184 different countries coming into the United States illegally. This is outrageous. So for the National Guard and our other men and women who are just trying to do their job, now they get these 6 fools who go on social media trying to make themselves look more important than they really are, to be frank with you, and now their lives are at risk. This is obscene, and this is Democrat policy, Democrat power politics that is not securing the homeland, not making sure our people are safe, and not valuing the men and women who put the uniform on every single day to protect this nation.
What should the White House and Republicans in Congress do to go back and review that program and try to figure out if there are other problems like this lurking in that program?
Well, we're doing it right now. Obviously, the deportations that President Trump has greenlighting is step 1. Step 2, obviously, was securing the country. Donald Trump has done that the second he came back into the White House. No illegal border crossings into the United States. That's a win for the American people. To my colleagues on Capitol Hill, it is time to reopen the investigations into the Afghanistan withdrawal and the lack of vetting of who came into this country. And every one of those people need to go somewhere. They don't need to be in the United States. If it's going back to Afghanistan, so be it. But now that we have 2 of our men and 2 of our soldiers in the hospital fighting for their lives, enough is enough. And I know that there are some people in the United States saying, oh, well, we didn't want to really deport everybody. The truth of the matter is you cannot have wide open borders. Wide open borders lead to our country being overwhelmed in every single aspect, including safety and security.
And everybody right now, the worst, you cannot tell me. This is some of the worst that's coming out, that a lot of news networks are doubling down, saying and blaming Trump that the National Guard was even there in D.C. and that's why they got shot. Guys, you cannot make this stuff up. It is mind-blowing what we're showing you. We bring the receipts. This is what's happening by a lot of news networks, but we have to hold these people accountable. Gina, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. For the gifted 10 TrueLife News memberships. Let's go. If you got a free membership from Gina, show her some love in the chat, helping to grow her family. Don't forget to show our boy Chris Prez some love for his gifted memberships, and to Summerman for his support. We appreciate you so much, brother. Thank y'all so much for your support. Show him some love in the chat, everybody. Listen to this.
I'm sure most of you have heard by now about the horrific incident that occurred in D.C. just yesterday. 2 National Guardsmen were ambushed, shot. We have details on how it all went down. And we're learning that one of the individuals, at least one of the individuals, is actually local to us here at Timcast. So we are shocked, saddened, angered. And there's a lot to this story that goes to the failings of the previous administration and how we've gotten to this point. So for those that didn't see the story, this is the breaking news yesterday. Reportedly, this is, and I'm sure this is all subject to change. We'll get more updates on exactly how everything went down. But a man ambushed two guardsmen, a female and a male. And according to these reports that I've seen, shot the female took her gun or had a revolver. There's been conflicting reporting, and then fired upon another guardsman and was ultimately shot a couple times before being subdued. Reports are the individual is not cooperating, but the latest update is that this individual had worked with the U.S. government, reportedly came into this country on a special program from the Biden administration and overstayed his visa. And now here we are. The response from many Democrats has been quite abhorrent.
Right here, y'all.
With them saying things like, if they weren't on patrol, they wouldn't have been shot. And there have been numerous liberal you know what, I'm gonna pull these up. I didn't want to drag anybody on such, but we've got to talk about this, my friends. Numerous instances of, you know, and I don't want to pull up anything graphic, in fact, so I'm not going to slide the, I'm not going to bring the slide over just now. But I want to show you some of the sentiment that we have been hearing. And I think it's important because it plays to this narrative they have about blaming the victim that we've seen quite a bit. This is Ed Krasenstein. If they weren't on duty there, raking leaves and standing in front of federal buildings for no good reason, this wouldn't have happened. It was Trump's stupid political stunt teamed with another lunatic killer that led to this. I have a question for Ed. Why were they shot? Why were they shot? This lunatic killer wouldn't have shot anybody else? Wouldn't have gone somewhere else and done it? No, I think the point is we shouldn't have to worry about National Guard walking down the street. The reason they're out there is because of lunatic killers.
Again, everybody, do you see how people across the aisle, you cannot reason with this? Right now, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are doing things that are not even hitting mainstream media, but are saving so many lives right now. The FBI has identified or located nearly 6,000 child victims, surged arrests by 500% involving networks that target young children online. We're doing amazing things in this administration. We're trying to make sure places are safer. But when you have the other side that blames not the killer, doesn't blame the murderer, blames that people were just out there, you cannot reason with that. And that is where we are ultimately getting to. Judge Jeanine Pirro is doing some big time charges against this person because, again, if we do not set the example, if we not, and again, Squirrel 0017, you're 100% right. There are sleeper cells here in the United States. Don't be naive. Don't think that terrorists didn't come in when the border was open. Don't think that we have people here that hate America, that would like to cause chaos. Everything that we're showing you guys, it's mind-blowing that we have so much common sense on one side and a complete lack of reality on the other side. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Listen to this.
After Wednesday night's ambush in Washington.
The Washington, D.C. Fire and EMS Department sharing this video of them honoring the victim, Sarah Beckstrom, as her body was transferred.
Sarah Beckstrom of West Virginia, one of the guardsmen that we're talking about, highly respected, young, magnificent person, started service in June of 2023, outstanding in every way. She's just passed away. She's no longer with us. She's looking down at us right now.
That was the president breaking the tragic news yesterday. The president also saying 24-year-old Andrew Wolf still fighting for his life right now. His family asking for prayers.
The suspect had worked with the CIA and evacuated to the U.S. from Afghanistan in 2021. The death of Beckstrom means he will likely face upgraded charges to include murder in the first degree. The DOJ also pushing for the death penalty.
We will do everything in our power to seek the death penalty against that monster who should not have been in our country. We're praying for a recovery for them, but worst case scenario, minimum life in prison with terrorism charges.
And with that, let's bring in U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Jeanine Pirro. I know it's a tough time for you, Jeanine, but can we talk right off the top about, are we going to see an escalation in charges?
Oh, there's no question. First of all, our hearts go out and our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of a beautiful 20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom who answered the call to serve her nation. And she volunteered, and she ended up being shot ambush style on the cold streets of Washington, D.C. By an individual who will now be charged with murder in the first degree. There are certainly many more charges to come, but we are upgrading the initial charges of assault to murder in the first degree. And we are hoping that the more information we can get and the more investigation that is going on 24/7 now, around the clock in Washington, the more we will find out about what actually happened in terms of this individual even being in this country and being in a position to ambush and shoot down an innocent young woman who was doing her duty to the people of this country.
Well, let's talk more about that, because obviously in order to make a case in a court of law, you are going to need evidence. What can you tell us about the evidence being collected right now at the alleged killer's home in Washington state?
Well, I'm not.
Let me tell you this, everybody. Right now, this is from yesterday. They're seeking the death penalty. Pam Bondi is from the DOJ at the highest level. Guys, we're just bringing you breaking news. I hope you appreciate this. If you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button. Jay Miller, thank you so much for gifting a TrueLife News membership. Show our boy Jay some love in the chat, as well as PDX67. Our boy Richard, OG of the channel, said, "Go MAGA, thankful for all our Patriots." Amen, brother. This is big, everybody. When you see this and you see how many times things go into investigation and they take forever, like people, the news moves on. We are trying to get justice. We're trying to make sure that we take care of you when it comes to seeing everything that's going on. And today, Trump says it is finally over. We're going to permanently pause migration from all third world countries and make sure that we clean house. This is what we voted for, everybody. And this is where Trump has moved forward. Today, we're already seeing action by congressional leaders in Congress to make this come alive. This is what we voted for. We have enough people to make this come alive, and people need to know that we're going to put Americans first. And when we do that, guys, again, there's just too much corruption with this person that came over. We knew that this is all tied to and backed by what you're seeing on the screen right here. This guy, him and his society foundations, Open Society Foundation. This is where it all comes from. This is why, again, everything that we do, we try to bring value to you so you know what's actually going on. And especially right now, it is a crucial time. It is, we want to move into our sponsor real quick. It is open enrollment time, but the door is about to close, everybody. This is big. Right now, we know that this year alone, the DOJ went after health insurance companies right here. 3 national health insurance companies and 3 brokers. This is big. When you're a national health insurance company, this means that they were taking advantage of people. And whenever I show you on this screen from Medical News Today about Medicare for 2026, how there is literally 5,600 plans available nationwide in 2026, we partnered with this company, Chapter. It is a free service to you. Remember, December 4th is the last day. When this closes, please don't go by without calling them, 667-895-3015, if you're on Medicare, because this can save you thousands of dollars per year. We have people that have saved almost $3,000 a year in healthcare costs just by calling Chapter, and it's free. We have people that have saved over $2,000. We have people that have gotten over $1,000 in additional benefits. And it's such a blessing because it's a free service to you and they work for you. And they go against all these nationwide healthcare insurance companies to take care of you, to make sure you're on the right plan. Like I said, don't let the door's about to close. Open enrollment's about to be over. Don't let it slip by. Call them up, save you some money. The number is 667-895-3015. 3015. They save seniors on average over $1,000 in benefits, and some even get over $1,000 in additional benefits like stipends for electricity, for your electrical bills, gas, things like that. Be blessed. Call them up. I promise they'll take care of you. The number's at the bottom of the screen, and the number's in the description. Tell them that Joel sent you from TrueLife News, because again, we have to stick together and we have to help each other out.
Going to get into the execution of the search warrants, but my staff was involved at the command post, and they have been there around the clock. We continue to seek warrants and to execute on those warrants, even as we speak, not just in Washington, the state of Washington, but in other areas around the country, to get everything that we need to make sure that this prosecution is as factful as we need in terms of the law and the evidence. This is a case that has touched the hearts of so many Americans, because to be gunned down on the streets on the nation's holiday is an outrage, and the individual who did this will pay the ultimate price, according to the Attorney General Pam Bondi. As well he should, once and if a jury returns a verdict that we will be seeking in this case.
Madam Attorney, what is your message to elected officials like Senator Dick Durbin and Senator Alyssa Slotkin that said that our National Guard was terrorizing American cities, that predicted that it would be the National Guard that would shoot innocent Americans, and many more horrific comments such as that?
You know, it outrages me. And, you know, there's a part of me that thinks that the left is disappointed that the National Guard didn't shoot someone. But the truth is that this left-wing progressive nonsense is nothing more than fueling the flame of division in this country.
And if you didn't know who they're talking about, it's this lady right here. Alyssa Slotkin suggested a few days ago that the National Guard will start randomly shooting at Americans. You cannot make this up. This is insane, everybody, that this is coming from elected leaders who, and we need to hold our butts accountable.
People should be grateful that the President of the United States has taken crime so seriously in this country that he is bringing in our law enforcement partners so that we can protect the innocent citizens. Look, I am the United States Attorney in the District of Columbia. We had the 4th highest homicide rate in the nation 2 years ago. And the president made the decision to protect the people of the district. Now homicides are down 60%, robberies are down 50%, carjackings are down 74%. And the left wants to complain about it. They should thank God that President Trump is the president, that he cares enough about the people of this country to fight the criminals and protect the innocent people. And let me say one more thing, and it's not about this case, it's about vetting in general. The nonsense that the left gave us with this Operation Welcome Allies. Look, there was no vetting. If you think there was vetting, I have a bridge to sell you. If you saw the chaos that was going on at that airport in Kabul, in Afghanistan, it was typical of what was going on in the Biden administration. And the Pentagon, I believe it was Kirby and people in the Biden administration, said the Afghan withdrawal that we all know was disastrous was a success. And that's a quote. They called that a success. That chaos is not a success. That is a nightmare.
Look at that.
And 13 American servicemen and women were killed at that airport because the Biden administration couldn't get their facts together and couldn't make a decision regarding the rules of engagement to take down a known suicide bomber. So let's stop namby-pambing around with this, oh, we was vetted. There was no vetted.
Let me tell you this, everybody. This is why there's so much chaos trying to happen in America right now. Trump administration is winning on the next level. And when Trump's winning, especially when it comes to these tariffs revenue, America is winning. When Americans win, Trump is moving more towards reducing the size of government and giving taxpayers back their hard-earned money. The Trump administration brought in a $33 billion in tariff revenue in October. That is a 316% increase from October of 2024. This right here, everybody, shows you that, again, every time Trump moves forward, they're trying to bring him a step back. And if you appreciate what Trump is doing, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. Because, again, what Trump is doing, he wants to make government so small that we can eliminate the federal income tax, put Americans first, and get back to where we are focused on becoming the greatest that we can be, not stepping over Americans to help out illegals. Listen to this.
Switching gears here, obviously, we know many of you out there are struggling with the cost of everyday goods. You could all use a little bit more money in your pocketbook. And Donald Trump has an interesting approach on how to get there. First, let's look at the numbers. This is a poll. Majority of Americans say the following are up. 85% say groceries are up. 78% say utilities are up. 67% say healthcare is up. 66% housing up. And 54% say gas is up, even though, I mean, let's be realistic, at least where I live, gas is significantly down. But at the end of the day, these are individuals who are going to be voting. It's how you feel when you go in that voting booth that matters. And President Trump has a unique idea on how to give some more money back to the American people. Listen.
Over the next couple of years, I think we'll substantially be cutting, and maybe cutting out completely, but we'll be cutting income tax. Could be almost completely cutting it because the money we're taking in is going to be so large. And yet, other countries who have been ripping us off for many, many years, they've just been ripping us to shreds.
I spoke earlier with a small business administrator, Kelly Loeffler, who talked about the commitment that the president has and that she has in ensuring that Americans feel relief and that small business owners and operators feel relief. And she discussed and emphasize that the regulatory burden inherited from the Biden administration is still alive and well in parts. And so to your point, while there have been great strides made and relief has certainly been a priority for this administration, not everyone is feeling it yet. And so there's more to look forward to. And she talked about even the potential for corporate payroll taxes being reduced, a lot up in the air and a lot under the president's advisement. But the whole point is the priority of Americans and our relief and small business owners administration, like all of that is the priority.
It's such a great...
And again, everybody, it's a lot of things that he's talking about doing that would essentially bring down the overall cost that we're incurring right now. President Trump says he'll permanently pause migration from all third world countries. Right now, there's 53 foreign-born immigrants in the United States. 53 million, okay? 59% of them receive some form of welfare from federal taxpayers, okay? You start, the deportations continue, people that don't want to assimilate, people, because again, they're going to go through, and Trump already said, we're going to go through and we're going to re-vet every single person that's got a green card because we need them to, number one, love America, want to assimilate, want to speak English, and want to be a net positive to our country. If not, you're gone. You can see it and imagine the cost starting to exponentially go down. I'm about to show you some numbers in a moment when it comes to the amount of money that's being spent on foreign-born nationals receiving federal taxpayer benefits. Your mind's going to be blown, everybody. But this is what was intentional by the Democratic Party to import voters. Digging it with Dawn, let's go. Thank you so much for the super chat. Said, I think this is a false flag. Show Digging it with Dawn some love in the chat, as well as Gina, Summerman, Chris Prez. Thank y'all so much for your support.
Point, Emily, and I'm glad you addressed that with Kelly Loeffler, because deregulation has always been a big part, a big cornerstone of President Trump's economic sort of agenda and view, as is cutting taxes. You have to refer to delivering the largest tax cut in American history under his first administration. So when we hear him say remarks like this about getting rid of the income tax, he gets my attention. I'm paying attention because cutting taxes, deregulation are sort of what's driving his economic engine.
But let's be clear-minded on this. We do need to be clear-minded. If the income tax, both the corporate and the individual, were eliminated, tariffs would have to go up significantly in all likelihood to make up for the loss of $3 trillion in revenue coming in from these taxes. But at the same time, Republicans would never lose another election again because everybody hates the income tax, especially Republicans, and I think they get a lot of crossovers. The people who wouldn't, the far left, but they do not make up enough of our country to influence the elections.
No, because
This would be
switching gears here, obviously.
Sorry, y'all. This would be huge, everybody. And Trump has come out time and time again saying he wants to eliminate. Trump confirms he might totally eliminate the federal income tax before he leaves office. You're talking about a massive, massive boom to our entire country like never before. Because again, when it talks about the damages that we've incurred by the Biden administration, we're still trying to get past those, everybody. This is what we're fighting against. Listen to this.
Well, core producer inflation numbers for September came in late because of the shutdown, but markets were very happy that inflation was a bit less than expected, increasing hopes of a December rate cut by the Fed. Look at those numbers. So what does all this mean for Main Street? Joining me now is E.J. Antoni, Heritage Foundation chief economist, and Steve Moore, Unleash Prosperity co-founder and former Trump advisor. Gentlemen, great to see you. Thanks for being here. E.J., it is really all about affordability now. Both Republicans and Democrats are taking up that theme. Of course, for Democrats, it usually means socialism. That's their answer. For Republicans, hopefully, it's more market reforms. But, you know, 0.1% is not much, and yet it was just enough to make the markets happy that there might be a rate cut in December. And I think the odds are now up above 80% that there will be. Once that's done with, are markets going to become waiting for the next thing? What will the next big thing be for markets after that?
Well, it's a great question, David. I think if we look a little bit further into the report, it hopefully gives us an indication of that. You know, granted, this is stale data, but if we look at the report, we find that the big driver of any increase at all was energy prices. That's part of the reason why the annual core reading was so low. I think it was the best since July of last year. And so the fact that it's stale means we have to consider that oil prices have come down since then. So that means we should have better readings going forward, because that'll be further downward pressure on those prices.
You know, I love bringing y'all the receipts, everybody. And just like I said, this is so massive because, again, it adds up. You just got to think over the course of 10 years, okay? Don't think in just 1 year. Think of the course in 10 years. Total federal welfare entitlement spending on foreign-born residents in 2024. You can go grok this. You can Gemini it with Google. Those are the AI tools that we use. Estimated 2024 spending on foreign-born total $369 billion. $369 billion. Multiply that by 10. Now you're at almost $4 trillion. You cannot make this stuff up, everybody. Go fact check me. This is housing assistance, SNAP, Medicaid, Social Security, SSI, WIC, Medicare. Guys, I'm telling you, like, this is why, again, when you know this amount of money is going out, $369 billion in a 1 year, this was all by design by the Democrats. Tell me, I mean, this is why Trump is so hell-bent on making life more affordable. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. We have to fight against this, and we have to make sure that we vote the right people in, especially during the midterms. And that's why I appreciate it when you share our videos, because a lot of people don't see this stuff, what you're seeing on the screen.
I think if we look at, again, within the report, we see that every month since April, annual inflation when it comes to goods has accelerated, and services has really been what's dragging down the headline numbers. So what that tells us, I think, is that as the Trump administration continues to refine its tariff strategy, and as they cut additional tariffs like they just did with cocoa, with bananas, with coffee, et cetera, that'll also help put further downward pressure on prices, and that gives more room for the Fed to cut, and that's what this market loves.
Oh, yeah, the market loves it. But, Steve, again, let's get back to Main Street and affordability and what bothers people most. I've just listed 4 items: housing, healthcare, food, and energy. Those, I think, are the 4 big items that Americans care. And housing alone, I just want to drill deep into housing, because it wasn't that long ago when we were spending, the average monthly cost of owning a house was about $1,200 a month. That included not only the mortgage price, which was very low back then, it was about 3.5% in 2019. But in 2019, it was $1,242. That has jumped up more than doubled to $2,715. We need something from Republicans, from starting with the president on down, to address that shocking.
Guys, when you see that price, it's all interest rates. What has Trump been saying this entire time? With too late Jerome Powell. Do what? Lower the interest rates. Is this not insane, what we're seeing? I'm telling you, everybody, like, I love it what Adeline Starr said. You get rid of the property taxes so you actually own your home and don't get kicked out if you don't pay property taxes. You lower the federal income tax or get rid of it altogether. You lower interest rates. Like, you're talking about some major reform coming to the United States of America if this stuff begins to happen. And all the while, guys, I'm telling you, the more and more that Trump presses on this of eliminating the federal income tax, this is what's going to put America back on track.
EJ and Tony joins me now. EJ, happy Black Friday. I mean, is Black Friday still important? I mean, we've seen these holiday promotions going on for weeks. I've already started wrapping my Christmas gifts because I don't expect the deals to get much better. What do you think?
Yeah, Lauren, I think that's spot on. Look, these days are still important. They're just not nearly as important as they used to be. I know it's anecdotal, but I was out with my father this morning helping him grab a tree, and the parking lots just looked like any other weekday. There really wasn't anything special there in terms of volume. However, all we're doing is simply, I think, transferring that volume to other days in November or other days in December. So I would expect you're still going to see the overall same volume of holiday sales there.
The White House says it might slash income tax completely over the next few years because of the revenue that is being generated from the tariffs. Do you think eliminating the income tax altogether makes sense?
Well, sure, if you're going to have absolutely massive cuts to government spending, which I would love,
Right
don't get me
there,
wrong, but it's just not feasible, again, unless you're going to have much higher tariffs and much, much less government spending. You know, it is true historically, Lauren, as I'm sure you know, that this country did fund the federal government almost exclusively with tariffs for a good number of years. That's how our country got started. But that was when government was only a couple percentages of the overall economy, not 20 to 25% like we've seen more recently. So again, if you really want to get rid of something like the income tax, the government's main source of revenue every year, you could theoretically do it, but it's going to, again, require much higher tariffs and much, much less government spending.
Got it.
I'm telling you, everybody, what's coming is massive. In this right here, Trump is about to clean house like nobody's business. President Trump has directed a full-scale, rigorous re-examination of every green card for every alien from every country of concern. Tell me, is this not what we voted for? Big stuff is coming, everybody. And what I love is that we're continuing to drop the facts. If you appreciate this, show us some love. Hit the thumbs up like button. If you're not a part of the family yet, please consider joining our family here at TrueLife News. We want to take care of you every day with the breaking news. And don't forget, everybody, it is open enrollment time right now, but it's about to be over. Call this number, 667-895-3015 with Chapter. It is a free service to you. I would never bring anything to you unless I knew it was going to bring value. And we've had people save thousands and thousands of dollars on this channel with beautiful testimonies because they called this company. And it's free for you. We've had people, and my favorite is the person that got an additional $1,000 in benefits for stipends for electricity and gas and things like that. And what I love is that, again, we know that there's corruption out there. We know, I just showed you hundreds of billions of dollars going to non-citizens, illegals. This is where we work together and we want to bring value to you. that you can call this company. Tell them Joel sent you from True Life News, 667-895-3015. The number's in the description. And you go be blessed. Don't let the time go by. Don't let open enrollment end before you call them. Because again, you want to make sure that you are only paying what you need to. You only get the plan that you need. You save as much money as possible for Christmas. Because it's all about to come up. But I want to say thank you to everybody who's given today. Remember, in December, this will be our largest donation of the entire year. This is my favorite time of season. This means a lot to me. We give to children's homes on the 22nd of every single month, everybody. To these kids that ain't got nobody, but they got our support. And I do it live on stream so you can see the receipts and everything. I want to give special love to Canaryville Kid. Jesus is Lord. Summerman, show Summerman some love in the chat, everybody. And give it up for our boy Chris Prez, OG of the channel, with 10 gifted True Life News memberships. Thank you so much, Moonshadow. And Gina with the 10 gifted True Life News memberships. If you got a free membership from them, show them some love in the chat. Sherry Garcia, our boy Richard, Jay Miller, Digging It with Don. Thank y'all so much, everybody, for your support. Thank you for sharing our videos on X and Facebook. We appreciate you so much. And again, our boy Robert Cash said, God bless America. God bless all of you. Thank you so much, brother. And we praying for you, Robert, and our condolences to you and your wife passing away. We love you, brother. Show Robert some love in the chat, everybody. We thank you so much to all of our faithful. We missed. Thank you, everybody, to Alice Green. I'm like putting names together, everybody. Alice Lewis, April Green, Gina, Richard, Lynn, our boy, Mr. Tracy J. Norby, Georgina DeBlanco. Thank you so much to everybody. B1 Sly One, Arlene. To everybody that supports our channel, we love you, appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.